What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Octane Rehab channel. Today I'm gonna do a little bit more work on the engine stand. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make the plate for this side. I'm going to attach a plate about here, a piece of the 2x2, and I'm going to bring it up about here, and then basically I'll make a face where I can add gauges and switches and a key, and so I can start wiring this thing up, and I'll probably attach the computer to it and stuff, and I have to make a mount for the battery. But we're just going to start today with making the plates and making the stand. So I have a big old piece of plate right here that I've been cutting on with the plasma cutter. It's a really, it's about, I don't know, it's about 1.5 feet wide, and it was probably like 4 feet long, but I've cut quite a bit off of it. But this is what I've been making the plate out of. It's about 1/8 inch thick. So I'll just have to cut some more plates. All right, so I just barely got this set up. I have, you can see my marks. My mark is at 3 inches. I did 3 of them just to kind of make sure it was all straight. But so the reason I have this here, this is some aluminum angle. You can see that it's a 90-degree angle. So, and I have it clamped to the board because when you're using this plasma cutter, the plasma cutter, you can't touch the surface with it, or it'll start melting the tip of the plasma cutter. So what you have to do is you have to hold it. You have to hold it a little ways off, pretty much straight up and down, maybe at an angle, but you have to hold it pretty straight up and down. And it's hard to like free hold something at a certain distance and keep it straight going clear across. So what I do is I use a aluminum piece of angle like this. You can use really whatever as far as I know. But what I do is I put the tip of the gun up against the angle. Let me turn the light on here real quick. Here we go. So I put the tip of the gun up against the angle, and then I can kind of have a pinky that touches over here, and then between the two of them I can get a really nice smooth cut all the way down, and I don't have to worry about wandering this way or that way. You just push it up, kind of up, and not super hard. You just kind of lightly drag it across that, and it makes it real easy to get a really smooth cut across that. And that way you don't have like, so you have like this is a pretty straight cut, but you don't have like really wiggly things going on, and so you kind of makes for a better plate afterwards. It's not all jagged and pokey and stuff. But I'm gonna get this cut, and then we'll cut this into a couple of different pieces. You can see how nice and straight it cuts using the template. Just makes for a really clean cut. Now I'm gonna cut this into a few different pieces, and it's really super simple. That got me three plates. I'm only gonna need two of them. I'll just pinch them together with some vice grips. Probably use these two. Pinch them together with some vice grips, drill some holes in them, and then I'll kind of grind them flat. I'll weld them somewhat right there, and then I'll weld this guy on there, and we'll have our removable stand where we can start it and stuff. All right, so the plates that I'm going to weld here. So what I need to do is the plasma cutter leaves these rough edges. That's the actual edge of the metal, so that's why that's smooth. But it leaves these rough edges in this slag, I guess you could call it. Well, I need to clean that up. And all I do is I use my grinder, my bench grinder, and I grind it off. And then I kind of round the corners just to kind of make it more easy to look at, I guess. But I have already done this one, rounded the corners off, shaved the edges, nice and smooth. Now I'm just gonna show you how to do this one. Alright, so now that we have two nice and shaved and rounded pieces, what we want to do is we want to drill holes in them. What you want to do for drilling holes is instead of marking where you want your holes and then drilling your plates separately, what you do is you line them up, and then you just, I'll show you right here if I can. Just kind of line them up how you want them. And then you'll use some vice grips or some like a vice or something. And you'll just clamp that on there and it'll hold it straight. I have this vice here, and you clamp it and then you hold it in your vice, because these are different sizes, so you have to clamp it. And then you just drill your holes, and then your holes will be exact on each one, on each plate. They'll be in exactly the same spot. And that's how you line them up, so you don't have to bore them out and do a bunch of other stuff just to make sure they're right on the first time. So let's drill them. Alright, so I welded this one onto the frame here. I don't really need it in any specific position, so I kind of put it more towards the back. Right, this plate right here, I need to weld on the end of, on the bottom of this. So these are two extra pieces that I have from making this frame here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld them together like that, and this will be the bottom that I'll put that plate on, and then right here I'll put a piece of sheet metal, and then there'll be some gauges and a key so I can crank it over and start it. Alright guys, and this is the end result here. Just this, it's about chest high for me, which is fine. So I'll have a plate that's about the same length as the top, come down, and there'll be 3 gauges. Well, I don't know how many gauges, just there'll be some gauges and then a key. This is the computer from the car that I pulled this motor out of. I'm going to mount this on the back here so it has a place to sit that's nice and rigid. And yeah, I didn't weld this up all the way. I welded this side and I welded this side. It doesn't really need to be super welded up and stiff, just because it's only going to have like gauges and a key and maybe some electronic stuff on it. It's not going to be holding up anything super heavy, so to kind of save some time, I just welded those up easily. Now down here, I did weld it all the way around. Dang, those welds look good. But I did weld it all the way around. I need to find 2 more bolts, but yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to see me get this motor running in the future. Hopefully the near future. But yeah, so we have a little bit more work to do to this. Gotta wire all that stuff up. A lot of this stuff is wiring. I don't think I'm gonna film any of that stuff because it's long and tedious and doesn't make sense to to a lot of people, but I'll just get that done and then I'll show you the cool part, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.